I now call Deputy Seán Kyne. It was 5 minutes.
It's difficult enough to find love in this world, and where two same-sex individuals find love and wish to have this recognised and acknowledged by the Irish state, then this should be made possible via civil marriage. This will provide equality and protection to these couples. Those were my views in 2009 when running for re-election to Galway County Council on foot of a question by marriage equality. And thankfully, I haven't changed my mind since then, and in fact, I'm even more supportive of marriage equality now. I understand that some people of a certain generation may find it difficult to understand the concept of same-sex love or relationships. Perhaps it wasn't talked about back in their day. It happened elsewhere to other people. Perhaps people moved to big cities or abroad to live their lives away from prying eyes of neighbours or whatever, especially in rural Ireland. Thankfully, more and more gay people can live their lives openly and can, in the most part, take part in life without difficulty, although unfortunately there are still some incidents of homophobia in society. I hope that these will continue to lessen and that marriage equality will help in the greater acceptance of same-sex couples. As a Catholic, I want to say that this is a civil issue. It does not impact on the rules of the Church. The state cannot change the Roman Catholic doctrine. The Oireachtas cannot. It can comment on, and often does, on a range of issues in relation to the rules of the Church. And I fully respect the Church's right to have these rules on a range of social and moral issues, although there are many issues that I disagree with them on. However, the state has a responsibility to all its citizens, gay and straight and indeed trans, as we saw last week with the Gender Recognition Bill. Same-sex marriage does not devalue the marriages between a man and a woman. It does not weaken it or lessen it. It allows same-sex couples to express their love in the same way before the eyes of the state as heterosexual couples do when they sign the civil register within a registry office or within a church. I have many gay friends, many who struggle with their identities. Some who have had heterosexual relationships but who now accept that they are gay or bisexual and wish to find or meet a same-sex partner. More who have found that special somebody and who want their love recognised. The state needs to embrace commitment. Commitment has always been what marriage is about. Two people committed to each other, to support one another, to share their lives together. I certainly hope this referendum passes, and I intend to vote yes and campaign for that. I hope that in 10 or 20 years' time that it will be difficult for people yet to be born to understand what the fuss is about. I hope that as we today cannot understand how it took till 1993 for homosexuality to be legalised, or how women before 1973 had to resign from their jobs and marriage, that future generations will find these debates strange or quaint or perhaps even funny. I hope that every year we go on, acceptance will be easier. I hope that the lives of people who struggle with their sexuality eases with each year. To quote a friend of mine, gay or bi teenagers in 20 years' time will find life so much easier than today. And I believe this is already becoming easier for young people to express their sexuality, and I hope it continues. But we must acknowledge the difficulties that teenagers can have who find it difficult to express themselves to their parents, or who suffer bullying in schools in particular. That can obviously be very difficult for those young people to cope with. When we look at the abuses in Russia, parts of Africa, and the strong homophobic views in parts of Eastern Europe, and indeed even in some of the US states, it makes Ireland look very tolerant and accepting. But we must go to the next step and give the couples who cannot currently marry under the eyes of the state the rights they deserve. However, I have a problem with the word tolerate. It means to put up with something. People deserve more than to be put up with. All of the people of Ireland and beyond deserve equality. Current fáilte riven billa seo, tá mi dóchsa go bai vóta fábhar an ábhar seo sa referendar an fir dó lá de Baltana. A tá daoine tá láidir an ai, beidir go bhfuil imní orthú faoi athrú, beidir nach bhfuil aithneanta achu ar daoine éireach. Tá an referendar seo faoi cearta. Cearta do daoine ag rá, pósa, agus tá sí ceart go túirí muid aithneantas dóibh mar cúpla. The question has been asked, why a constitutional change? The Constitution is the place that we insert what is dearest to us, our values, who we are, and what we aspire for ourselves and for future generations. And that is why I believe that marriage equality needs to be inserted in the Irish Constitution. And I certainly hope that the Irish people will go out and give a resounding support to this very important question of our time about respecting the rights of same-sex couples to be treated equally in the eyes of the state, as equal as any heterosexual couple, and I certainly hope that the referendum on the 22nd of May gets the full support and unequivocal support of the Irish people. Go Maggans.